Welcome back. You're watching Alpha Investments. My name is Rudy. I know you guys are around here somewhere. Hang on. Hang on. What we do here is we talk about cardboard and cardboard accessories. All right. Welcome to 2025's friendliest market of all time. My name is Timmy. You're watching Rudy. So, I'm going to, this video today is a conversation on why you're unhappy, why the market's going to continue to annihilate and just smoke people in the dust, and why most people are just going to be, So, first things first, my advice, Innistrad Remastered is coming up here. I've told you all already, if anyone's going to sell you Innistrad Remastered collector boxes below $300, you should buy them. Not from Rudy, not from anyone I know, step, sister, friend, just, I don't know. You should buy from multiple sources. The print runs tight. Every single collector box has been incredibly successful. I absolutely expect this one to do the exact same thing after release. I don't expect any additional waves. It has serialized cards, or serialized card, single card. Yes, folks, the return of the poster cards are back in this product. And one of them is serialized, and it's going to be very expensive. So, my advice, get in early before the prices. You don't have to buy from me, buy from anyone else. You think Rudy's the bamboozler? I'm the reason all your money is gone and things are expensive. Make sure you put a picture of me in the bathroom so we can make eye contact. But the market's going to market, folks. Honestly, Innistrad Remasters, the play boxes for like $160, $170 are looking pretty good, considering that the collector boxes are like $350. $360, $370 with tax, I guess. Those cheap play boxes are looking pretty dang gone diddly. They're looking pretty attractive, folks. So, my advice on these things, again, if you missed out on these collector boxes, you can try to find some local LGSs that aren't aware of some of the $400 Bloomborough Foundations and Duskmorn at $250 and Ravnica Remastered at $400. And, I mean, they're all expensive, folks. I mean, Karlov Manor collector boxes, they're not even collapsed anymore. Karlov Manor literally paid the back payments, got out of foreclosure. And Karlov's foreclosed Manor, you've got, I mean, I can't believe how many play boxes of Karlov we sell. You know, it's just, everything is shifted. And the quicker you accept this is the market conditions, the better you're probably going to do. And the better you're mentally going to be able to handle the year of 2025 in the cardboard world, everybody. So, I'll pause Magic right there, but let's jump to Pokemon real quick. Prismatic Evolutions is coming up. I'm going to give you my personal opinion. If someone's going to sell them to you for $100 or less, you should buy Prismatic Evolutions. I've said it for 2 months now. I'm going to run a small sale to patrons. I'm going to run out in 30 seconds. I've got, do I have official numbers? Do I have 400, 300, 500? I got a couple hundred ETBs pulled from all sources across the United States. And I usually sell my ETBs by the case. I mean, if a case, what are these? Jesus, $145 plus taxes of the filming. People are paying $160, 50 to 100 times a day on TCG Player for one ETB. I mean, I don't know if paying $1,600, 160 times 10 for a sealed case is a good approach for Prismatic. It seems scary high, but at the same time, you know, I'm the same person who got attacked when I ran my Surging Spark sale for $138 a box, $139. I don't know. The market's going to market, folks. The best piece of advice I can give you all in Pokemon. You can try to buy from me when I launch the sale and it runs out in a few seconds and you got to comment on a post. And if a case is $1,500, even if I take $100 to $200 off a case, it's not going to make any difference. I can sell it at full price. I can do the Rudy $200 off on a whole case of Prismatic. It's going to sell in a few minutes. People in Camp A are going to be unhappy because how expensive it is. People in Camp B are going to be unhappy because they can't get the product. It's a lose-lose. My advice, do not focus on Prismatic Evolutions. Let everybody go crazy for it. You can take $1,600, which is the case of a full case of Prismatic with tax on TCG Player. Honestly, maybe take the $1,600. Maybe start looking at some Sword and Shield era booster boxes or cases. $1,600. Can you still get a box of Evolving Skies for $1,600? Evolving skies is what? 1,300 plus tax? So 1,400 with tax? I mean, there's a lot of things you can park the money with, okay? In 3 to 6 months from now, this whole prismatic evolution thing is going to level out. Now, do we get it? I don't agree with everybody talking about these massive reprints and prismatic evolutions is going to collapse in price and all this stuff. Yes, I do expect a wave 2 or wave 3 of prismatic. No, I don't think it does anything because you're not understanding if we graph the timeline. If prismatic is 150 or 145 right now, okay? If it takes us 4 months to get wave 2. So from 145 today to 120 days from now, prismatic's going to run to like 180 to 200 an ETB. If we get a restock or reprint, it's going to drop the $200 ETB back to what? 150, 140, 130? Oh, wait. Then it starts running back to 150, 160 again. Oh, we get another reprint, knocks it to 120, 130. Do you see what I'm saying? When you have a market that's already made up its mind, it just is what it is. Like with Magic, when Karlov Manor came out, the market rejected it from day one. It is what it is. That's probably not going to change. I hear something falling. Is that falling? Is that falling? I knew I heard something falling. Anyways, so that's, I just, the problem right now is I feel like we have a tug of war of everybody's perspective, emotions, and everybody's fighting the market. And the people who don't fight the market and they understand that the trend is your friend are kind of performing better right now. And again, you can try to go after prismatic evolutions. If you're a patron, you can try to get one from me. I don't have enough for nearly anybody. Or, honestly, just let it be. You know, I'm serious, folks. Look at SV1234, the first era of the 4 boxes. Look at Sword and Shield. Okay. Sword and Shield, everything's been going crazy. We all know it. I know. I'm the poster child for Chilling Reign. We all know from Rudy's 10 Chilling Reign videos from how many years? 2, 3 years ago? Yeah. We all know the story. Okay. We know the story of Evolving. We know the story of Fusion. But there are still Sword and Shield boxes. Vivid Voltage. Darkness Ablaze. I guess Sword and Shield base has already jumped to 300 to 400. There are still products. I am on record for 24 months now. I've told you all over and over. Every single Sword and Shield era booster box will be over $500 a box. I've said that line so many times. Well, now when I say it, it probably feels a little different than it did 6 and 9 months ago when I told everybody Sword and Shield boxes are all going to be 500 plus. The good ones are going to be 1 to 2,000. Looking at you, Chilling Reign. Looking at you, Fusion Strike. And of course, Best of Breed is going to be your Evolving at probably what, 2, 3, 4,000 a box. People just want the product. Rip and shippers are annihilating the sealed market, unlike anything I've ever seen before. You know, the market conditions are just in place for this to happen. I recommend going after other products. I told you all when, you know, even in the Scarlet Violet era, you had the base set for $99, $95, and everybody was, oh, Rudy's got to get rid of those bags. You know, even base right now is what, 120, 130, 140 maybe with tax. I would go after that. I personally, looking at, I guess Mr. P. I think SVO2, Mr. P. Paldea Evolved. When I was selling Mr. P, I told you all. Now, Mr. P, I mean, if you can get Mr. P boxes for 150, 160, 170, hell, honestly, fuck it. Even Mr. P. If you can find a nice, juicy, giant Mr. P for under 200 a box, you should probably buy a case of that. I mean, personally, I'd rather have a case of Mr. P, SVO2, even at 200 a box, times 6 bucks, it's $1,200. Versus what? A case of prismatic ETBs on TCG Player right now for $1,500 plus tax, so $1,600. I would rather buy a case of 6 Mr. P's, lined up nice and hard and ready to go. A case of Mr. P's for $1,200 versus $1,600 for a case of prismatic on the open market. Like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, I think you should be kind of stepping back and saying, okay, you know, if I can get one from my local LGS and get a case of prismatic for, even a little bit off market price, sure, go for it. If I can, one of the lucky few patrons that'll be able to get a prismatic and comment on that post quick enough, then hey, good for you. Or otherwise, let it go. Just let it be. Or go in a different direction. Focus on the other stuff. That is what's made me have tremendous wealth and success in this world. You know, I hold massive Scarlet Violet base, Mr. P, Obsidian, Paradox, because again, these were out of favor. And you know, even 3 months ago, 4 months ago, when everybody's going crazy on Twilight and Temporal, and I guess Stellar. Stellar's terrible, but Stellar's $140 a box. See, it's very difficult to pull away from that magnetic suckiness of the hype and go in the direction where you're the only one buying it. It's like, oh, hey, look at this. Weiss. Bochi the Rock? Oh, should I buy some of this? Oh no, it's trash. Nobody wants this, right? This isn't Nikki or Azure Lane. Oh wait, there's like nothing left on the open market now, and the prices have gone up. Oh, I guess I'm glad I got that then. It's a very funny thing. So I'm telling you all because prepare for disappointment and a lot of outrage, because a lot of stores who have pre-orders, once we cross the release date, and officially these stores can't fulfill it, and they don't get a wave 2, you know, the problem is when people who thought they had product locked in, that those thousands of people get canceled. It takes this pool of people who said, oh, I've already got my stuff, I don't have to worry. It takes that basket of individuals, places them back in the market, and now they're fighting to get product in a market where there's no product. So as everybody keeps clawing for the same thing, it just forces prices to the moon. So that's where we're at. And yes, folks, last I checked this morning, Surging Spark is $250 a box. I said Surging Sparks would be between $200 and $250 after the Black Friday going into January, and everybody made fun of me saying, oh, look at Rudy's got to pump his bags, which, God, I wish I had a lot more. I've got 800 Surging, but I don't have, the 1,000 to 3,000 Surging as I would like to have in other things. It's... all right, I'm done with Pokemon. Let's jump back to Magic. So we have the Innistrad thing coming up. What else do we have going on? Bloomborough Collector's all-time high. I guess every collector box is almost all-time high, except maybe 4 sets from the COVID era, right? I want to take a minute to discuss the Playbox situation. So obviously, if you don't like money, you don't buy Magic boxes from Rudy. If you like money, you're a Rudy patron, and you buy your Bloomborough, your, Duskmourn, your Foundations, and everything from me. Because, and again, I'm doing the best I can, everybody, to keep ship times at 1 to 3 days after payment. We're trying to stay on top of it. We're doing pretty good. But right now, we have Bloomborough Play boxes at $150 plus tax. A lot of you all have asked me, Rudy, because Bloomborough is $150 plus tax online. You've got Outlaws of Thunder Junction at $130 plus tax. Rudy, you got Dusty boxes, Dustmourn, $130 plus tax. We got Foundations Jump, all these things. No, I do not have plans on raising the price. I know you guys keep asking me about this. Rudy, are you going to raise the price? Because right now, literally, if you're a Rudy patron, it's $116 a box. I've told you that for 6 months now. And yes, Bloomborough is $116. Not give me your shipping zip code and let me add shipping and handling. It's $116. So for the thousands of you all buying from me every month, that means that if you're buying cases of play boxes from me, for example, you get $200 off market price just on that one item that you can buy any time in the month. Foundation play boxes, same thing. If you want Foundation Jump, the new Jumpstart, $91, just like Wilds of Eldraine, just like Ixalan. And we are doing the best we can to stay on top of it. We're trying to keep ship times between 1 and 2 business days. So far, we're doing pretty good. But be aware, the market conditions are continuing to rise, even on, I told you all, draft boxes are going to match play, where all draft boxes are going to be the same 120 to 150 range, which means tremendous appreciation for draft box holders. Yes, I'm aware Ixalan and Wilds are already over $100 a box. No, I am not raising the price. They are still 91 shipped. And yes, I don't know why people think that's a scam. I don't know why people think, like, when you try to send me a payment, like, I don't know what the fuck. The internet's a weird place. But I guess to defend a lot of you guys, there's a lot of shitty scam stuff online. Like, buy my CD, get rich, come to my seminar. There is a lot of that stuff. It's kind of a grimy thing that we live in, or everybody's going to make their own coin. I think the new Rudy coin is coming soon, where essentially if you buy Rudy coin, but you can only buy Rudy coin if you have a stepsister, and then after you buy Rudy coin, your stepsister disappears on weekends. Nah, I just fucking with you. I'm just kidding. But no, the point of me bringing that up, I am not raising the price. Now, eventually, when postage rates go up or something and Wizards does their next price increase, yes, I will have to raise prices from 116 for these boxes to maybe 117 or 18. But I think we have a good amount of time until price increases happen. I do expect Wizards Hasbro to do more price increases coming up. Yes, I'm aware, and I haven't covered it yet, the new Aether Drift, the Rudy Street Racing set coming up is a cheaper price point. So no, the $116 play boxes are going to be lower for the Wizards is lowering the number of packs in the box. So that's in the future. Don't worry about it. Okay, so back to the Magic thing with the collector boxes. And then I guess people have been wanting me to go back to this whole Bronze Era buyout on Magic, but I'm trying to, it's very difficult for me to keep on top of how quick the market's moving right now. So the collector box situation, we have essentially, let's see here. Besides Crimson Vow Midnight Hunt, which those two sets bottomed at like $70, $80 for a collector box. It was unbelievable. But those were Amazon dumped, remember? By good old Cynthia Williams. I believe besides Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt, I think the next weakest set is Streets of Barry Manilow, Streets of Capenna. And then we jump back up to probably the 160, 170, which is Adventures Forgotten Realm collectors. And then I think everything else is higher now. I don't think we have anything left that's collapsed or actually been a bad thing. I think everything else has finally gone back. And there are still segments of the market I'm very surprised you guys haven't figured out yet. There's parts of the market that I'm just like, really? That's, you guys know that's the first set to ever have serialized cards, right? Hint, 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 hint. And then there's other sets and I'm like, wow, Fallout Collectors is still under 1,000? Huh. Wow, Infinity Collectors are still about 200 or 190? That seems pretty good. There's still segments of the market. Adventures Forgotten Realm at like 160, 170, 180. Still below 200. There's a little bit left. But for the most part, no. Most of everything has gone up tremendously. And then there's been some interesting things where the new Wildsville Drain collectors at like pushing $400. Yet the original Throneville Drain collectors from 3-4 years ago are like $250 to $300. So I do expect certain pockets of the market to take longer. But when the market does give it attention, I think it's going to pop and kind of readjust pretty quickly. So to summarize this video, my advice to everybody, you need to make peace with the prismatic evolution thing. Most likely, and again, I will give you all one more time. I told you all the price trajectory and what I expected to happen with Surging Sparks, and I was pinpoint accurate on the Surging Spark price point when I told you all when it was $150 and I sold mine for $138. I told patrons, don't buy it if you think it's a ripoff. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Because the more people don't buy it, the more heavy bags I get stuck with. And we're in a bull market, and it's going to be here a while. And I expect these bags to continue to get heavier, like the heaviest sacks you've ever seen. Sack is a good word. That's not a word used enough in modern society. I feel like sack is one of those beautiful words like cellar door. So, in my opinion, the prismatic evolution right now is about 150, 160 with tax. If you want to buy it from an LGS at 120, 130, you should do it. If you can lucky enough to grab it on a Target shelf or a GameStop or Walmart, grab a couple. Congratulations, you just doubled your money if you can get it. I just feel like the obsession over it is just to the point where, no, these are not, you're not going to get $30, $40 prismatics The MSRP, which is $59.99 plus tax, so technically $65. I think people just need to accept that the product is just worth more money. The market has told us that. And if that makes you unhappy, you should just skip the product and not buy it. If you think everybody's scalping and doing evil things, just skip it. I told you that already. Just don't do it. Just buy something else. But I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Same thing I told you guys with Surging Sparks. I said Surging Sparks is going to head to 200 before the year ends. And I said, once we cross the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Stepsister Tuesday, and TCG Player gets nuked, we should see the pop to $200 in Surging Sparks. That's exactly what happened. And I said going into 2025, in Q1, we should see Surging Sparks make a run from 200 to 250. Well, it's only like January 6th, and Surging Sparks already hit 250. So again, it's moving faster than I had calculated. Now, based on what Surging Sparks is doing, now I predict Surging Sparks will head to $300 a box, probably within the next 90 days. Unless the magical reprint restock finally shows up. Now, for those of you who think that Pokemon's just endlessly going to reprint this stuff, everything's going to collapse, yes, Pokemon is going to reprint these things. But folks, the reprints, just because the word reprint is such a toxic word because of what it's meant in the past. So, context matters, right? If Rudy says something derogatory or mean, well, that makes him a bad person. If Rudy steals your stepsister or takes your wife, that's it's not evil, but it's not morally the right thing to do. Right? But at the same time, it's not illegal, but it's just not nice. Okay? So the word reprint is now attached as this evil, toxic thing because of what's happened in the past. In bear markets, overprinting and reprints makes the word and just the sound of it go, oh God, oh God. It makes you upset because you know what that means. It means it's going to collapse. And in those kind of times, these companies need revenue because the markets are bad and they overprint and it does more damage and it snowballs downhill and it gets worse and worse. Now, when you're in a strong bull market and you're a company releasing good products, a reprint, we need to adjust our thinking that a restock is not always a toxic thing. Okay? Overprinting, printing to oblivion, these are all terms because we went through these previous cycles where every time these things came up, it ended badly. Okay? If we can get a normal size, not small, a normal size reprint, restock of, anything, even Surging Sparks or Prismatic, which should come. The problem is the time it takes. I don't know why the general public just thinks that like Pokemon can pick up the phone and be like, hey, I need to order 50,000 Surging Spark boxes by next Monday morning. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, folks, the more time that goes by, every literally couple months, there's new Pokemon products released. When these new products release, the timeline, that sliding window moves forward. Like, people are still talking right now about reprints of Scarlet Violet base in like a third reprint or a fourth reprint of like Mr. P, Paldea, like SVO2. Like, folks. It's 2025. Surging Sparks is SVO 8 or 9? 8 or 9, fuck, whatever. Like, Prismatic's like 8.5 or 9.5. Like, we're going into like the 9th or 10th set. Like, Pokemon is not saying, okay, can we go back to SVO2, Mr. P? Should we redo that one? Like, you have to understand how many products, and they don't care which products reprinted. They get paid the same amount of money. Okay? This is why they don't go back and reprint Roaring Skies again when it's $1,000 a box. Because they don't get $1,000 a box. So, we need to restructure the brain that reprints, restocks does not mean toxic bad management anymore. If the product's good and the market is properly handling it, a restock of a product is not always a bad thing. If a product is collapsing and the market's in a bear market, restocks and overprinting is deadly. Your card game may disappear and go bankrupt. You know who I'm talking about. And other times, it can handle it. So, folks, understand future reprints and restocks of Pokemon is not a negative thing. It's not going to, and those of you think it's going to tank the prices, you're in for a heap of disappointment. And if a $250 Surging Sparks drops back to $199, you should probably fucking buy it. And not from me, from any LGS. Because I'll be honest with you, if Surging Sparks is $250 right now, I'm not going to sell it to you for $199. I held my agreement to patrons, which is I run the sale at the launch of every product. And at the time, Surging Sparks was $150, $160. As promised, I took off a discount. It did $138. After that, and the sale's over, the product ages, I don't care. Now it's $250. I won't even sell it to you for $199 because the market changes. My objective and my legal, contractual, what I feel is the correct thing to do is I offer every set at release. Some of these sets go up, some go down, some stay the same. But after release, that's it. Who knows what happens? Now, obviously, we're in a bull market, so the probability of things doing a lot better than I guess, have we had anything tank? Has anything in the last 6 months even gone down? I don't think is there even any product from 2024? If you're a Rudy patron and you made this far in the video, pause the video, go buy a shirt on eBay. I still have a couple hundred shirts left. Please buy a shirt on eBay. I make like $5 off of you. Please go buy a shirt. Someone comment below. Is there any new release product from the last 12 months that has actually gone down? I don't think there is. Holy hell, that's crazy. That's very unusual, actually. That's very unusual. And when I say go down, I mean actually not like move the dollar. I mean like an actual like greater than like 10, 20% actually tanked. I don't mean, well, Rudy sold this for he sold that for $70. I found it for $65. No, is anything actually dropped? Anyways, so that's my attitude for you all. My words of wisdom to leave you all today is make peace with prismatic evolutions. There's a lot of opportunity in this market. Focus in different directions. And in the world of Magic the Gathering, Innistrad Remaster collector boxes, they're going to go up. They're going to be $400 or $500 collector boxes. I just don't know if it's going to be at release, 90 days after release, or a year after release. Or I don't know the time frame. I don't know the rate of change. I don't know how fast that velocity will get there. But yes, Innistrad collector boxes will be $400 or $500 a piece. Prismatic Evolutions, the ETBs, they're going to be $200. If that makes you happy, unhappy, I don't really give a shit. If that makes you want to buy it or doesn't want to buy it, I don't really give a shit. Do whatever you want. It's just another product, and in 90 days from now, no one's going to care. I don't really care. My advice, again, if you're a big Pokemon fan, Sword and Shield era, anything. Scarlet, Violet, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first few sets that don't have a lot more coming. Okay? Or no more reprints that I'm aware of. Knock on email to myself. And I would really focus on that. If you're a more higher net worth individual and you have more capital, you should be looking at older Magic, vintage stuff that nobody wants, and Rudy's the only one buying vintage. And I would be looking at sealed product from the Bronze era. You know, the Khans of Tarkir, the Dragons, the Fates, Guilds of Ravnica, Allegiance, War, Kaladesh, Aether. Oh, Kaladesh, did you see? It tanked back down. Kaladesh was in the 300s, went all the way to 1,000, back down to almost 600. No, 580? Well, 570 plus tax. Still 600. So yeah, Kaladesh only doubled in price in the last 30 days instead of triple. So, but anyways, yeah, my advice, stuff like that. Mascars of Mirrodin, Mirrodin Besieged, New Phyrexia, Dark Ascension, Avacyn Restored. You know, there's a lot of original OG Innistrad. You know, there's a lot of opportunity in some of these other sets that are pretty old and not widely available. I would be focusing on things like that. Don't fight and go crazy for this hype thing of prismatic. And you know what? If you want some Innistrad collectors boxes, you know, I'll have my little sale release. Whatever the box price is on TSG Player, we'll do, 2 boxes. We'll add it together. Take off 20, 30, $40, and you can just buy it. So I don't know. Whatever that comes out to be, so be it. If you want to buy it, cool. If you don't want to buy it, skip it. The problem that stores, investors, collectors, we can't get more of these things. What we get at release is it. So everyone's attitude needs to be very cautious. And past that, do what you want. Don't FOMO. When you see these stores online and all these sellers, I know we joke about the term scalping and all this funny stuff, but they're not scamming. They're not evil people. Most of these stores and most of these sellers have been around for 5, 10, 20 years. I've been in the business side of this with, LGS ownership and distribution and this. I've been doing this just on my end for 15 years, folks. On the large wholesale store side of things. I've been doing this for over 25 years, just in cards since I was a kid. I'm telling you, 99% of these stores and people running them, I know we have memes and jokes about scalping and bamboozling, but there's really nothing wrong. And yes, sometimes the market goes up, and sometimes that makes people unhappy. And sometimes, you know what? The right thing to do is nothing at all, and just skip the product. And go on eBay, and buy a t-shirt from Rudy, and be a Rudy patron, and fucking just stop losing your money buying $150 play boxes. You guys know I even sell the new Jumpstart, Foundation Jumpstart for $91 shipped, right? Even if everything else Rudy does rips you off, or you don't buy anything, besides buy a t-shirt so I can make $5, you guys do know, if you buy a case of play boxes in Magic every month, you save $100 to $200 a month. Every month I run 1 to 2 Pokemon sales. 2 weeks ago, I ran a Scarlet Violet variety kit with SVO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all I did was take $50 off as a bundle. And the prices have gone up even further. So literally, the people who are just receiving those in the last week already got $100 $150 off market prices, and they've gone up further. I know we have memes and jokes, but don't you, welcome to Costco, I love you? Here, I'm going to take you guys to a special place. Rudy's penis.